Welcome to the China Myth Podcast, a show about understanding today's China and how to work more constructively with your Chinese counterparts. It's brought to you by EME China Consultants and hosted by me, Jin Xu, author of The Chinese Honeymoon Period, Everything We Know About China, and the soon-to-be published After the Chinese Honeymoon.
A question, I read a book one time, not your book, but a different book, by a professor who teaches both at my university in China and at University of Minnesota. And he likened Guanxi to the concept of social capital in the West. Of course, there are some differences, but I guess something to think about would be, what do you think are the similarities and differences between social capital and Guanxi?
Yeah, that's actually, I've read that too. That is a common way to talk about it, but it's actually a relationship between social capital and Guanxi. And the social capital is not represented by Guanxi itself, it's represented by goodwill. And goodwill is actually the social capital in which Guanxi is developed, Guanxi is maintained. And the overarching way to translate this to non-Chinese people is you want to think of your goodwill, social capital, as like a banking account or a checking account. And your goal is to always keep this account kind of in balance. And that's how Guanxi is deepened and maintained, which means the people that you are working with in China will constantly try to extend goodwill. And the way that Guanxi is maintained is every time you receive something of value, your account goes negative. So you have to deposit more goodwill into that account to bring it back up. Now, if you give a lot more than you're receiving, then your account goes positive. That's not a bad thing, because in Chinese culture, if you've given a lot of goodwill, people will feel that, well, they owe you some goodwill, and they will ultimately find a way to bring that account back into balance. The key to success, proverbially speaking or metaphorically speaking, to deepen Guanxi is to keep your goodwill or social capital account roughly in balance, but have many transactions. That means there's always transactions, whether it's buying dinner or offering something to, you come back from an overseas trip and you're bringing some gifts. You're offering some inside information, you're offering special pricing, they're helping you expedite something or push something forward. That is Guanxi at work. That is the Guanxi engine. And it's a continuous process in which you think of the goodwill that's being exchanged as social capital. Follow me for more insights about yourself in relation to your Chinese counterparts. And remember, a cultural dichotomy is just a contrast that lacks curiosity.